What is good, YouTube? Like I promised, I was gonna give you guys my playoff predictions, and it looks like we gonna have the same teams in the NBA Finals for the last couple seasons, which is Cleveland Cavaliers versus Golden State Warriors. My Celtics lost, so I'm not smiling. I'm not happy because at the end of the day, I thought we could make a run, and we end up doing it. But we have a bright future. And Golden State had some injury luck. Mike Conley went down a couple years ago. George Hill was out in the Utah series. You had Chris Paul getting injured in this series. You had Kawhi Leonard going down a year before that. They had some major injuries to key players, along this journey of winning championships. And people always say you need some luck to help you win some championships. You need the shots to fall. Even in this game, Steph Curry had some threes that rolled into the rim or missed and fell in, and those shots were just deflating for the Houston Rockets because they needed stops at that time to even have a chance to beat them. The problem with Golden State is, can you guard them and defend them for 48 minutes? They're always moving. They're always cutting. They're knocking down threes. They're coming off screens. They're setting screens. They're doing handoffs. Can you guard the Golden State Warriors for 48 minutes? And the only reason why I say that is because not is they one of the best offensive teams ever, and they have some of the best players ever all on one roster. The Cleveland Cavaliers have been so terrible, personally, in the defensive, just playing defense in general. And on top of that, one thing else you got to think about is look at the footage and watch the series last year. The Cavaliers had so many breakdowns, and that opened it up for Kevin Durant getting layups and dunks. That's the last person you want to get layups and dunks, especially if it's not in transition. You can't have no breakdowns because the Golden State Warriors will continue to run the same play. The Golden State Warriors will put you in awkward situations. They're going to make you play 48 minutes because you have to guard everybody because everybody will be moving. Can LeBron James trust his teammates to play great one-on-one defense, but also stay, keeping attention to everybody on the court because they're always consistently moving. And that's something I really don't see the Cavaliers doing. Even in the last couple games against Boston, although there was low-scoring games, I feel like even in the game 7, I feel like Boston was just missing shots. Terry Rozier and a couple people had a lot of open shots in the fourth quarter that if they make at least 3 or 4 of those shots, they win that series. But the fact that they didn't. But the only reason I say that is because you have Clay, you have Steph, you have KD, and you have other shooters on this roster to the point where you can't really leave these guys open because they can blow you out. You can't turn the ball over. You can't be careless. You can't even be lackadaisical because they will find you, pick you apart, continue to move until they get a good shot. And once that happens, can you score consistently enough to outscore this Golden State team? Because Cleveland is not known for defense. So they're not going to lock you up. And even if you go back and look at that Boston series, they don't really have superstar players on that Boston team. And they still was able to get good quality shots. They just didn't knock them down, especially in Game 7. And I don't think that would definitely happen if they play against the Warriors. This is a team with some of the best shooters in NBA history all accumulated on a roster. And they can really blow you out in about 2-3 minutes. We seen that in Game 6. 1 minute Houston was blowing them out in the start of the quarter. Next minute, the lead was gone. Next minute, the game was over. And we even seen it in the Game 7 that once Houston started missing shots, once they start breaking down defensively, once they start letting Steph get space and not staying disciplined, next thing you know, they up by 3. Next thing you know, they up by 10. Next thing you know, Houston going home, being up 3-2 and punching the ticket for the Golden State Warriors to be back in the finals. Obviously, LeBron James, they can throw a lot of bodies at him, like Draymond Green, like Andre Iguodala if he comes back healthy. Kevin Durant is not going to slow down or stop LeBron, but he can make it tough for him LeBron sometimes struggle finishing over length, and KD is a guy that can contest and block shots and use his length and athleticism to try to stay in front and try to force LeBron James to do more in the air to finish what can cause more misses. Will it? We don't know. LeBron James is playing historically great basketball. He's playing some of his best basketball, and he seems like he's very hungry to win this championship and prove that he's the best player in the world. But not only enter that GOAT conversation and have some more, conversations because he's going to do more things. He broke more stats, broke more records, and now he has a chance to go for ring number 4, which will put him in, a better conversation in that Jordan debate. But if he lose, that's another finals loss. That's another ring for Kevin Durant, and that puts him into that upper echelon of players, especially if he's able to get that Finals MVP. LeBron only has 3 titles and 3 Finals MVP. KD will be having 2 Finals MVPs and MVPs. Not only that, Kevin Durant is not 30 until next season, so this Golden State team still has more chances to add and extend their window and win more championships, especially if Kevin Durant decides to stay. With this team. And if he does, this team is going to be hard to stop and hard to guard. And that's why they've been in 4 straight finals. And not only that, they have an opportunity to extend that in the next couple of years. And they have a chance right now to win back-to-back championships with Steve Kerr, Steph Curry, and Klay Thompson. And this can potentially be Kevin Durant's second title. And something that he has never done was win, but now he can have a extended period of 2 straight. And you have damn near the best duo. Now you have damn near the best trio with Klay Thompson and Kevin Durant and Steph Curry. So it's going to be hard for them to guard. Can I trust J.R. Smith? Can Kevin Love consistently defend? Can he score enough on Draymond Green? He has been struggling. He also has helped them in clutch moments, and he also have failed them in these playoffs too. So Kevin Love should be ready to go. He went through the concussion on, I believe, Friday, and the game don't start until Thursday. So he should be prepared to play. He should be able to get some shots up, get some practice in, get some food in the stomach. And Kevin Love is going to be very needed to beat this Golden State team. If they really want a shot, not only is they going to have to trust each other and play with each other, they're going to have to, communicate and play hard defensively. And if they can't lock up the Warriors, they're going to have to do the effort plays. They're going to have to try to get the steals. They're going to have to try to get the rebounds. They're going to have to try to fight. They're going to have to put pressure. They're going to have to be physical. They're going to have to do the little things that, gives them the edge that they normally wouldn't have because they don't have as much talent as this Golden State team. Remember, Golden State beat a better Cleveland team last year than this year. And if they do beat this Cleveland team, a lot of people are picking them to win in 5. A lot of people are picking them to sweep LeBron and the Cavaliers. It's hard to sweep him because how great he is. He can have one of those, astronomical games that can really push a team, and he's been clutch this season, particularly in the fourth quarter, taking over fourth quarters and pushing it down team's throat and knocking down jumpers and threes. LeBron James is playing his best perimeter basketball also. I don't really see him slowing down, in the finals. And he proved even last year that he can get 30 to 40 anytime he wants it, regardless if it's Klay, regardless if it's Draymond, and regardless if it's KD guarding him. LeBron will get his points, and he will do it in efficient and dominant fashion, something I couldn't really say about him in 2015. And if you go back and look at that 2015, he didn't really have the offensive players. He didn't really have any help, and he struggled at the free throw line. He was very fatigued. He was very tired. He had to play a slow tempo. He had to make it ugly just to have a chance to win that series. And they was up, 2-1 in that series, and they lost 3 straight and ended up losing the championship. So LeBron can't really do that this year because you have KD, a guy that can, match you up and crush you out. KD can go for 30 on 50 on LeBron. He proved that last year. So, if LeBron going for 30 and 40, KD can do that too. But who else is going to be there to share the load and help lift that rock off LeBron's shoulders? And I don't think they definitely have enough. And can you trust Kevin Love, who's been shaky all but the Toronto series? In the beginning of the season, he was great. That's why he was an all-star. And on top of that, you definitely got to consider that, if even if Kevin Love is healthy and plays well, you still got somebody that he can X out in Klay Thompson. But what about Draymond? What about the bench? What about Steph Curry getting 25 to 30? Do they have another guy that can give them enough offense? And I think no. You're going to have to see players like George Hill, Rodney Hood potentially, or even Larry Nance come off that bench and give you some energy, some effort, and some hustle to make those little plays that can keep you in the game and potentially help you close out games. Because as long as you stay in the game, one miss here, one free throw here, one turnover here, you can pull those games out. Especially against this Golden State team that even Houston played harder and came up with a lot of big plays, and they was actually able to push them to 7. With James Harden playing bad and with Chris Paul down. Even though they blew the lead, they was scrappy and they was up. Even in Game 6, they just couldn't play 48 minutes of great championship basketball, and that's why it's going to be hard for Cleveland to beat them too. Not only does LeBron not have enough help, not only does he not have enough defensively, he don't have guys that can really lock down and stop Golden State. But then again, nobody does. That's why they're the reigning NBA champs, and they've been the 4-time Finals, Western Conference Finals team, and they have a chance to extend that championship window to 3 out of 4, and that's a dynasty. And they have a chance to go back and repeat next year too. Even though teams like Boston and Philly gonna have something to say about that, Houston can add a guy like Paul George or LeBron, and they have something to say about that. But at the end of the day, this Golden State team is going to be great, and I know they're going to continue to build this roster because last year roster it wasn't as deep as this year roster. They had some regular players, plus they added on some more, and this team is thick. They're hungry, and they looking to repeat. I got Golden State in 6 because I think LeBron is going to force some games. I think he's going to take over some fourth quarters, and I think he's going to put a lot of pressure on Golden State. And even though he doesn't have enough help, the little ticky-tack plays can help them steal a couple games. But I just don't think he's been tired. He's been fatigued. He's been frustrated. And I think that continues going into Golden State because you have to guard so many great players. You have to have attention to detail, and you have to out-execute. And I don't think they can do it defensively, and I don't think they can execute enough to beat this Golden State team in the 7-game series, which nobody has been able to do. Even though Houston came close, they was one injury away to potentially beating the Golden State Warriors. But you can also argue that games 3 and 4, Golden State gave away. Well, 3 and 5, Golden State gave away, especially in that fourth quarter with KD giving the ball up to Klay and Draymond stumbling, and they flopped a couple times in that game. But do you look at the last 2 games, you seen the real Warriors, and that's what they needed to get back to if they was going to win the championship, and they have been able to do that the last 2 games. And on top of that, like I said, the Cavaliers are not a great defensive team, and you have all these weapons. Why not go out there and try to get it done in 4? But I think LeBron will have something to say about that. Check out my website, NasisPlayerOn.com. Link will be in the description in the comment section below. Check out my Facebook page, NasisPlayerOn.com. Link will be in the description in the comment section below. And let me know who you think gonna win the series. And hopefully you guys are excited. And at the end of the day, Golden State the best.